I'm on a date tonight, so I'll have to just fucking go to... No, I'll just do it in front of her, shouldn't I?
Going! He's kept going! He's gone! Oh, Stockport pressure.
It's a 5-star performance from Stockport County.
All right, we got a small house, but we got a big bloody heart, I tell you.
Hello and welcome to the 80th viral outbreak of SK3 TV, the show for the thinking county fan. As long as what that county fan is thinking is, oh, Ollie Norwood's like dead good. And the best thing about him is he never gets injured. What a time to be alive. Yes, every Sunday between the hours of 8 and 9ish we are here giving you all the latest from SK3 and beyond and whatever else we've been doing. I've been with a succession of guest hosts kindly foisted upon me, but I am joined, of course, tonight for the relapsed county goer, the woman who put a cat in a bin, that Scottish woman when one of her daughters has had a poo and she's like, that's disgusting. Fenton the dog. They're all viral sensations, but not on the level of Hannah Brown. Hello, I've missed you.
I missed you, and I didn't see you yesterday either. So this is like our reunion, which is really lovely. I didn't see anyone that I knew yesterday, apart from like obviously I did some drug dealing, dropped off because now, like years ago, you go to America. I think I've said this before, and you buy like Levi's and Converse and trainers. Like now, I buy melatonin, naproxen.
Good stuff.
Omeprazole, antibiotic ointments, like all the really good stuff. So I had to go and drop some of that off. And that Kate was the only person that I saw that I knew yesterday. It felt really weird. Didn't like it.
No,
like the people near me who, honestly, well, we'll get to that. I mean,
excellent.
I wouldn't say I missed them.
Well, I had a watching brief yesterday from home. I did my back in at work last week, and I've had a full week of work, and it's just been killing me. I couldn't physically move yesterday, and I was in work again last night. I did not wake up until 4 p.m. To find that Luton were 2-0 up, which was a joy for me.
It was like, what have I missed? Well, you've missed a banger of a free kick. I mean, in fairness, like I don't know who Karen was on the Facebook group who said that Ben should have saved it. It was an Ollie Norwood special, just when Ollie Norwood was not on the pitch. But we can get to that. I've got We Do Not Care back, like as in I feel like I care a lot about a lot of things, but there's also some things that I don't care about. So we can cover those. I'm sure you've got some admin to do, though.
Oh God, you've not even missed a beat. Let's hope that Ollie Norwood comes back in such a fashion when he comes back. How long is it before I can come on here and do the? Oh, do you remember Ollie Norwood? What are all that about?
Well, do you know what I was? I mean, you know that I'm unfortunately quite invested in the whole potential return of Louis Barry, and I had a little chat with myself yesterday, and I remember the sheer meltdown of this time last year when we had to have like a very grown-up conversation. Sometimes grown-up conversations are really hard to have, and we had to have a grown-up conversation around there being 10 other players on the pitch, and 9 of them are quite likely to score goals. Like, just because your top scorer goes, it doesn't mean that other people can't score goals. We do also have other midfield players, and Do I have some stats for you, Nick? Like, honestly, I said to one of my guest co-hosts earlier, because now we talk without you. Like, we've got our own little group. It was called the SK3 International Break, which I thought was quite funny and funny. But you know, I just talked to them. But they decided I ran something past them. They were wrong. So I will run it past you later. But I did say earlier that this is the most fun that I've had with stats because everyone is so completely not everyone. That's unfair. There has been a lot of substantial head loss over the last 26-7 hours or so.
Yeah, brilliant. All for it.
And I have some stats that could possibly exacerbate that for fun.
Well, this is good because in the run-up to the new Football Manager coming out a couple of weeks ago, obviously there was no game last year because they were doing a whole new engine and layout and everything. So it's come out this year, and I was really excited because on 2024, the stats section was incredible. The data hub, like everything, all the stuff you'd get on Opta and StatsBomb, Y-Scout, all that stuff is on there. I was so excited this year to I wanted to base my save around the data. I wanted to do like a Moneyball thing, get players in based on stats. It's impossible to find this year. It's on the game somewhere, but they've changed all the menus around. I don't know. If anyone's playing Football Manager at the moment and can tell me how to get all the data up, that would really help because I'm not enjoying it.
I know a couple of people who are actually in Football Manager. So I'll make inquiries.
Yes, and also send me their names later, and in the morning when I get home, I will search them up for you, and we'll see what their stats are.
Well, there's one whose career that I'm planning to ruin 1 week at a time. It's basically my only reason for buying the game and an operating system to run it on. So it's an expensive hobby, but I feel like it'll pay off.
I think it's worth it. And I'll be doing exactly the same thing on my save. I've already tried to ruin that person's career, but he doesn't want to come and coach in the second tier in Ireland, weirdly. What's his beef? Just another reason why we should ruin his life.
Can't travel with drugs. That'll do it.
Right, let's do some admin, baby. Hello. No, that's a start. That's a start when I say hello. We are, of course, proudly sponsored by Blackbird Kitchen on the pans at Gorilla Manchester, on the grills at Impossible Manchester, and on the fryers at Len's Chippy in Droylsden. Hannah, admin, what else do we have? Tell them, because it's not nice when I tell them.
Do the hypey thing on YouTube. As last week, a YouTube watcher, I finally twigged what this is. And if you engage and stuff, you get more hype. So it's actually for you, not us.
Okay, yeah, right.
You, the listeners.
You, the readers. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, like and subscribe. What date do people need to save in their diary, actually, in December?
Potentially, people should save Monday, the 16th of December.
I think that's like the perfect December day. You're not going to have a school carol service on a Monday.
That was my motivation.
Screwed me over a few times. What else? You're probably not going to have a work Christmas do. So why not hang out with really cool people, or us? If you can't.
Yes. Well, we will bring cool people. We're anticipating some form of SK3 TV extravaganza / piss up, possibly with special guests and stuff. I'll get that put together in the next week and a half.
I mean, but I'll buy some frosty fancies. But I mean, honestly, if that's not incentive enough, I don't know what is.
Yep, there will be canapes will be served forthwith. Is what I'll be saying when we arrive, and then I'll realise I don't know what canapes are, so I'll just say, there's picky bits over there, help yourself.
Just as a public service announcement, I shared this with you yesterday. Iceland just get yourselves to Iceland. Like
The shop, not the country.
have like a picky tea for about £2.50. I swear, it's brilliant.
I'm
And
getting down there this week. That's my
the
plan.
Greg's festive bakes are already in there, and they're in the
Yeah.
£50 selection.
Can't bring myself to have one yet. It's too early. There's still fireworks going off, so it's too early for a festive bake for me.
I don't discriminate. I'm more open than that. I think it's wrong to have such a closed down mentality.
That's just me all over, Hannah. Just got to deal with it, love. Just got to deal with it. Right. The best bit of the admin, though, of course, comes courtesy of you. It is the return, finally, of the We Do Not Care Club, which I contemplated doing one of the last 3 weeks, but it just wouldn't have been right.
Right, I'm ready. Hang on. Pen. Glasses. Right. Okay. So, welcome to today's meeting of the We Do Not Care Club. This is a meeting for all new and existing members of the We Do Not Care Club. Here are today's announcements. Ready? Right. We do not care that we have not won any awards this week. Quite honestly, we're too cool and edgy and anti-establishment for awards. We also suffer from crippling imposter syndrome, so the thought of nominating ourselves for anything feels excessively egotistical. So we'll leave that to other people who we're obviously delighted for. And we're already my dad's second favourite county podcast. So
There we go. There we go. That can be the tagline. Everyone's second favourite county podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, did the Clash win a Brit Award? Don't think they did. So,
I mean,
punk.
yeah, right, edgy, right. Okay, we'll move on. We do not care that the entire fan base has suddenly become incredibly revisionist about Kyle Noyle and Ibi Toure. You gave them shit, the fan base gave them shit every week when we had them. We're all collectively delighted to get rid. So don't blame shitty recruitment because they didn't want to play for people that didn't appreciate them.
Yep.
We do not care that Nathan Lowe missed a penalty. In the scale of things, and I'll get to this very significant scale of things, it absolutely didn't change the outcome, and their keeper pulled off some cracking saves all day. I also had a discussion. I don't normally get into discussions with people at the football. I like to, be a friend to everyone. But really hot take yesterday was that Kyle Noyle cannot be described as an out-and-out striker if he does not take penalties.
Or Kyle Wootton, even.
Did I say Kyle Noyle?
You've still got Kyle Noyle on the mind.
That's because Matt Bryan popped up. Yeah, Kyle Wootton apparently can't be a striker because he doesn't take penalties.
I've got some thoughts on the penalty situation, which we'll get to later.
Yeah. We do not care that they've finally got Heineken Zero in the courtyard. We've started drinking again because of its absence. I mean, that's essentially what did it. So the therapy bill incoming. And not too late. So my next campaign, now that Heineken Zero is back, is going to be for wine in the courtyard. It's going to be like bougie and Christmas. We'll have mulled wine and people will roll their eyes like I've done at all the women drinking wine in the courtyard. I feel like there might be some kind of Mandela effect, but I'm sure I've seen Prosecco. And anyway, and last of all, we do not care that I had to buy a bigger size in the retro shirt because have you seen it? Have you felt one? It's got no giving it at all.
Yeah, no.
It's like a tube of, I don't know, something very constricting and not particularly comfortable. So that was fun. I've had to size up, which is not due to the fact that I went on holiday for 2 weeks.
No more of the other retro gear coming in, apparently. The jackets and stuff. No more of them.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's a shame.
They've got a shitload of shirts.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
yeah, the the one thing I'm not that interested in out of all of it. I would have bloody loved a Cagoule.
Yeah. Well, there might be some that pop up because I don't know if the sizing's any weirder for the like casual stuff, but the shirts are horrific.
What I will say, whilst we're on the club shop, because I think not long after we started this, so we're looking at about 18 months ago, one of the early podcasts where we had Ben, aka County Shirts, on with us. Me and him talked about the club shop a fair bit and said like how much better it could be. I went in midweek just for a browse, and it's superb. It is. Whoever's in charge of that now, I know there's been like changing management and everything. They're doing a fantastic. It's really the little setup the little retro setup that they've got for the. It may be my favourite thing I've ever seen at Edgeley Park. It's like the club shop management have gone, let's set up a corner for Nick. That's what it. Because I wish it was still the 90s, Hannah. I really do. If I could like go back to the 90s, but be old enough to drink, that'd just be my dream. That's all I want from my life. And one day I'll perfect a time machine.
Yeah, they've got dressing gowns which are pretty cool. They've got hooded blankets. They've got a full range of bobble hats. They've got what else have they got? Birthday cards for your mum and for your dad. The mum one's pink
and for your podcast co-host.
What else do they have? There was something else, and I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." They've got a whole range of like backpacks and stuff for kids because it's that like, it's any brand that you do, like the kids running around in the White Fox hoodies. That's the marketing. They're doing your marketing for you, and it's the same with kids rocking up at school with, rucksacks and boot bags and all of that. So it is great. And the bloke who runs the shop is always. He was there on Saturday. I don't know what his name is. I've never introduced myself, but he was like stood in the corner, like super helpful. The lads behind the counter were great. I needed to return a shirt and exchange a shirt and then buy my dad a bobble hat. Like it's a complicated thing, and it's a Saturday. It's really busy. Yeah, and they've got time for everyone, and they're just super helpful. And like Pat's obviously still there, who's just one of my favorite people at Stockport County. So it was they're doing an absolutely stunning job in the shop.
The last few times I've been in there, I've been like more and more impressed of it. So when we went to the signing event at the end of last season, that was the first time I'd been in the club shop in a while. I was like, oh, they've raised the game here. And then the difference from just a few months from then to now, it's really, really good. Yeah, very pleased with that.
I do think, like, over time, they do still have some weird stock variability, but that will settle over time. And they've got some quite seasonal stuff in there, in the dressing gowns and the hoodies and stuff. I mean, God, the hoodie that I bought last year, the club one, I think I've worn it on the podcast a few times. It still looks brand new. It's worn really, really well, because one of the criticisms of some of the stuff I've had from there in the past that's not been Puma is that it hasn't been amazing quality. But no complaints. No.
Yes, well done, everyone. Keep smashing it, people. Talking of smashing it, that was the instruction that I would have had for County ahead of yesterday. So we'll get right onto it for our sins after this. So, of course, if we're going chronologically as we like to do, I think it's fair to say yesterday's events start a few hours prior, when news started buzzing around the WhatsApp groups that Ollie Norwood was out injured. Now, it's a good job there's not a podcaster fairly close to here who has spent weeks and weeks going on about how amazing it is that Ollie Norwood just never gets injured. And if only his co-host had also said, Nick, stop it, you're going to be the jinx. Oh no, that did happen. And I was going to go back and grab the clip, but it just depressed me too much. I just looked at it and thought, you're an idiot. But for a club that... So I texted Ben Walker before, because with there being no game next weekend, I'm hoping me and Ben can find time to do like an extra episode. I want to do county freak injuries 11. Because the amount of time, and not just from the current team, because there'll be other candidates from prior to that, but the amount of times in the last 3 or 4 years where we've had an injury and what's been said about the injury in an interview has been, "Oh, we've never seen one like this before," genuinely blows my mind. We've had 2 players who've tripped over the same sprinkler and got injured.
No, that's false news. One sprinkler was in Harrington, one was in Pinatar.
Was it? Right. Oh, God, that's good then, because that'd just be stupid otherwise. Thank God.
Yeah, what do you call it? It would be, I don't know, some word that I can't think of.
God, well, either way, still two mental injuries. And then we had the weird Will Collar, potentially testicular injury a couple of years ago that we still didn't get to the bottom of. I'm presuming it was testicular. I don't know why. There's nothing to suggest.
I was told by someone who would very much know that it was. The mistake we made was that we, like, in retrospect, we know someone now who would very much have known, and we didn't explore that.
No, maybe we'll get back on that. That can be like,
we found the truth.
That'll be a good excuse for me to break out that Panorama theme music again if we do an expose on that. So the day started with it was really interesting watching it unfold because 4 separate group chats I saw it mentioned, and then there was a climb down where people were saying, "Oh, it might not be Norwood, but someone's out for 2 months, but we're not sure if it's Norwood." And then there was a suggestion. I don't think it was a serious suggestion. I think it was just copium, as the kids like to call it on Twitter nowadays. But, 6-7, fucking kill yourselves. I think it was just a case of copium because it was just people saying, "Oh, maybe it's the club," because this has been done. We've had confirmation that this has been a thing that the club have done in recent years, where they'll put a story out there and see who's the one who spreads it. Yeah. So there was an element of people saying, "Oh, I think this is what's happening." It's like, you think or you hope, and then the team sheet comes out. Everyone's so fixated on Ollie Norwood being injured. We didn't get onto Tyler Onyango being injured. Not just Tyler Onyango being injured. He's going to be out for a period, which is not a week, guys. All right, don't be vulgar.
It's genuinely not like.
Well, he's back at Everton for rehab, so
really not.
Oh, menstrual humour, brilliant. You don't get that anywhere else.
Well, podcasts just don't have enough of it, and I think that's probably the third one we've had in like 18 months. So
that's not enough for me. I think we need some more. Maybe we'll just have a full week of it, which would be apt, really.
Well,
I think.
Yeah,
just a heavy flow of menstrual jokes. right. So the confirmation came through that he was out. Obviously, on the club tweet, it's not going to say a timescale, and then Sam Byrne delivered the time, and it once again awaited. Sam Byrne managed to head off the stuff because this was pre-match, so we didn't know what was going to unfold in the 90 minutes to follow. But obviously, after the game, I think you mentioned it. It's probably Dodgson that injured Norwood.
No.
It's like, well, no, it was confirmed by Sam Byrne that Norwood was the one who tackled someone, and
no,
it's only on his way home that he's felt it.
What I said after the match was that someone on the Facebook group, whilst scapegoating Owen Dodgson for the entire 3-0 loss, said, "I wouldn't be surprised if it was him that injured Norwood in training." Like,
I mean, we'll get on to social media reaction because I just think. I always think I can't be any more surprised than I have been previously by social media reactions to stuff. But yesterday, it was like we just keep reaching these new, well, I say reaching new levels, plumbing new depths. It was so weird. So, the phrase that has been really boiling my piss, and it shouldn't, because it's an actual phenomena. It is an actual thing. Stats prove that it exists. And that 3-word phrase, Hannah, is new manager bounce. And I don't think the phrase would annoy me that much if we didn't constantly get done by it. I think that's why it annoys me that much, because it feels like...
Of it come.
Yeah, there's more of it to come, baby. Yeah.
I mean, it is a thing, isn't it? It doesn't... But, the new manager bounce simultaneously helped us yesterday, because look at the Blackpool-Cardiff score. So...
Yes.
We should... honestly, I don't think... I think it probably contributed to some of their energy and...
Yeah.
Maybe their setup in that kind of really tight 4-4-1-1 that they were playing. But honestly, I've not looked back to see if that's a new shape for them.
It is. They changed a bit, yeah. If apparently he's been changing a fair bit. He seems to place a lot of emphasis on looking at what the opposition are doing. Which, as long as that's not all you're doing, then you're good.
No, and that when the news broke yesterday morning, and it was
the news broke like Princess Diana's death.
Where were you when you found out that Ollie Norwood was out in 2 months?
Yeah.
I was in bed. I got a text message and I looked at it incredulously, and I was really, really looking forward to yesterday until yesterday dawned. And my first thought was, well, if it is true, then the club that, if you were playing Stockport County and there is all this stuff in the media, they've got a player that's been nominated for the PFA Player of the Month. You've got a player who is the most selected for EFL Game Week 15. That made me laugh and screw people over. Because the EFL Game Week 15, you can't change your team, the fantasy team, from about Wednesday, whenever the first match starts. So there was that, and if you were Jack Wilshere, then you would have a neutralise Ollie Norwood strategy, and that would very much be your gameplay. Now, interestingly, so we've talked with passing networks about how important Ollie Norwood is in the first half of our game. He is that big red thick circle in the middle of those network maps, but he's not in the second half. So some of me was thinking, oh, do you know what else happened? When you go on holiday and you come back and your nephews are suddenly talking in full sentences when before you went away, and they're not, and it feels like they're 6 inches taller. Oh, Moxon shut up, hasn't he? Honestly, he was just, yeah. I was.
To be fair,
didn't know.
I mean, first half.
Well.
But he did play. He played like he's been shooting up as well. In all fairness,
he played. So I do wonder. There was a definite kind of psychological impact to their very quick goals, and I think what we will miss with Ollie Norwood for the next couple of months is that seniority, that kind of ability to just kick on, but. Owen Moxon tried to do it yesterday, and you could see, and you can see it in the stats map, in the passing network map as well. He's not a big circle, but he is a thick red circle in the first half. Second half just goes missing. But in the first half, he was very actively, you could see him directing play in the same way that Ollie Norwood does, in terms of, the moving possession forward and moving play forward, but also that kind of dropping back into that defensive midfield. And honestly, I don't think he went far enough back, but it felt very much like that's what he was trying to mimic. And I've got a proper soft spot for Owen Moxon. I really want him to do well, and really hoped that in that kind of leadership role, watching so much from the sidelines, seeing, that sounded really bitchy. I didn't mean it like that. I mean that genuinely, he would sit and watch there and he'll know what he wants to change. And I thought it was going to be a real opportunity for him, and it didn't really translate. Same with Odin Bailey. I think he has really benefited from that connection with Norwood this season. And he had probably his worst performance for a good few weeks. And that's the difference. So I don't know whether to save this for later. I discovered today the Poisson distribution model. So it's an actual statistical model. So what you can do is you can take all the stats from a game, and then you can effectively model it as if you had a different player playing. Can you imagine
that's cool.
how exciting this was today? So you can basically say to it, like, how would this game have changed if Ollie Norwood would have played?
Oh, I like that.
It's good, right? Oh, now I don't know. Now I'm out of chronological order, and I don't know which of my stat bombs to throw at you first, because there's this one, and then there's some excellent other bits. Anyway, right. So let's go for this first. In that, it doesn't matter who you've got in the centre of midfield if people aren't finishing.
Yeah.
So if you're finishing as shit, you're not going to score goals. And one of the things that the stats analysis said was that Ollie Norwood would not have changed. Like, his contribution is more in terms of stopping the other team rather than kind of creating chances. That said, he is integral in that kind of sense. So what we were seeing was that it was coming up the sides instead, which is what we fully expected to see. No issue with that whatsoever. He probably would have scored the penalty based on stats. That adds up to an extra 0.78 of a goal, essentially. Because one of the really interesting things yesterday, and I've never seen anything like it in the 2 months that I've been looking at these stats in the same level. But we have that race chart. I think I've shown it to you before, and it shows almost always the team that wins finishes at the top of the race chart.
Yeah.
Not yesterday. Stockport County, our XG for yesterday was 2.68. Luton's was like 1 point something. So all of this criticism about how we played atrociously, it was the worst performance ever, it was abysmal, it was all of the stuff that came out yesterday, none of it reflects what actually happened. And the reason that it looks like that is because we didn't take our chances and Luton were ruthless. And so they massively overperformed and outperformed their opportunities, and we did the absolute opposite. So all of this kind of creates a picture which should reassure in that all is not lost, because if we can just nail that finishing, which has been a problem all season, let's be honest.
It's not a new thing.
The last couple of weeks. Then yes, we will miss Ollie Norwood, but it shouldn't be that bad. And at the same time as well, when you look at a fixture list at the beginning of the season, you're like, oh, Luton, okay, it's at home, but Luton were in the Premier League a couple of seasons ago. Necky Wells is just Callum Connolly just could not do anything with him. He was just like a cheat code. It goes from one side of the pitch to the other before you kind of even notice. Right. So let's go with the positives. Who was our most creative player yesterday in terms of creating chances and like generating, like contributing to our XG, which was incredibly high.
So it won't go along with the narrative that I've seen parroted over the last 24 hours or so, but
No.
I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna go O'Keefe or Dodgson.
Okay.
Yeah,
Corey
yeah.
O'Keefe.
There we go. Now
And he
the
is
issue.
that red circle on the left hand side.
Is that him?
He's where Osborne's been, and honestly was not in the second. Like obvious, like oh hang on, Corey O'Keefe, no, right hand side, obviously. And it's Owen Dodgson that's the big red circle on the left hand side. But he, it's a funny one. Like passing into Jack Diamond, second half much less so. But yeah, like the contribution to XG was 10 chances I think he generated, much higher than anyone else.
I mean, this was where I think we see the difference between fullbacks and wing-backs, because Corey O'Keefe is very much a wing-back. His strength is, although we've not seen it in recent weeks, he seems to have reached a point, Corey O'Keefe, where the first few weeks of the season he was bombing on and getting forward, getting to the byline, trying to put crosses in, and then something happened where all of a sudden he was getting past halfway and he'd double back and pass it either backwards or sideways. I don't know what's happened there, but O'Keefe and maybe to a lesser extent Dodgson. I mean, Dodgson's still young and can still develop his game a bit more, but they're very much wing backs rather than full backs. So as soon as you're putting them in a back four, because obviously the Olowu situation is that he was there as a last resort on the bench because he picked up a knock last week.
Yeah.
So hands were kind of tied with going to a back four. More on that later because it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in the coming weeks with our left back situation. So that's a big element of it, I think, for me, having two wing backs at full back. So you're essentially playing, and because you've not got Norwood sitting in front of the defence, it's essentially two centre backs against whatever Luton want to throw at us. Mm-hmm. That's essentially the size of it. But my biggest criticism of Owen Dodgson, from what I saw, would have been the red card, rather than, because that was the definition of a brainless second yellow. For exactly the same thing he'd already been booked for.
Yeah, both of them were fair bookings. 8 to 1 minute. I mean, honestly, it doesn't really change anything, does it? But
if we go through the goals, no one's covered themselves in glory down our right for the first one. I see it. It's so tiresome. Every single week, whichever goal we concede, there'll be a, well, Ben would have saved that, well, Corey would have saved that argument, and it just seems the people's outlook on that I just find so weird at the moment. It's almost got like politics now, where people treat politics like it's football now. This tribalism with it, and it gets the same with this keeper thing. It's just exhausting.
And the really interesting thing about, we say, I say often, and I was talking to someone who works in stats analysis at a football, like an actual real life person, earlier on, about our kind of some of our stats from yesterday, and it's like the most important thing you can think about with the stats is that they don't always give you the full picture. So for example, Ben's PSXG yesterday was atrocious, and one of the models was that Adai should come back in, but that doesn't reflect, that only takes Ben as one isolated person as the shot stopper on a pitch, and doesn't take into account what's going on with the defense in front of them and just anything else. But his, on paper, Ben's stats yesterday were awful, but in reality, I don't think I can't remember anything that he could have really done differently. People were saying, the wall should have jumped. Well, that's why. But they don't jump. Walls don't jump anymore because otherwise the ball goes underneath. Like, it's just,
I thought it was a fantastic free kick. I thought it was really. Exactly. If Norwood had scored that, no one would have been saying, "Well, the keeper should have saved it."
No, and the way they lined up as well. So I was where I sit. I was kind of like in a straight line. So me, the wall, Ben. And they were right over. One of the Luton players was just floating around completely unmarked, like through a gap. There was a really clear gap that you could see him. I was like, are they just gonna boot it straight to him? And he'd have been straight in as well. I said to my dad, that's going in. Like it just, I don't know, there was just something about it. It felt really well set up. And obviously being right, but
obviously, second half, we found a way. This is going to be the first thing that really annoyed me. Found a way into the game early in the second half, won a penalty, and this is what fucking infuriated me. The very fact that Ethan Pye has to go to the manager and ask who's taking it. Correct me if I'm wrong, was Callum Camps on the pitch at this point?
Yeah.
There's your penalty taker. He's taken penalties and scored them for us.
He, for me, was the one that I expected to take it because I had a little bit of because I've said about this before, like when I did the stuff for the EFL fantasy website at the beginning of the season, I had to fill in a form. It was like, who takes it was on set pieces, right? Left corner kicks, right corner kicks, free kicks, indirect free kicks, penalties, and I was like, Ollie Norwood. And I remember sitting there writing it thinking, oh, we're fucked if he's ever injured. Or,
Luckily, he never gets injured.
Yeah. And it just feels like that would have been a conversation that you would have. Funnily enough, the same thing happened at Bradford yesterday. So Bradford were awarded a penalty. Andy Cook's on the pitch. He's normally their penalty taker. Bobby Poynton picks up the ball, like holding it to his chest, like mine, and they're all arguing. One of the other Bradford players goes and like stands in front of the goal so that Bobby can't, like, ridiculous, childish behaviour.
Yeah.
In the end, they just say to Graham Alexander points at Poynton scores. Great. But it reminded me as well of that instance with Louis Barry and Odin Bailey a couple of seasons ago.
Barry and Tanto it was. Yeah, I was just going to get onto that because that was a couple of years ago. We've clearly not learnt from it because Challoner said it was like kids football, that was. Yeah. Like them doing that. And I almost think yesterday's situation was worse because at least we knew we had a priority list of takers that last time. But yesterday, for a player to be going over and saying it feels like we just got so used to Norwood putting every penalty away that there was a moment like, oh shit, he's not on. Yeah. What do we do here? Like,
I don't know if you know. Do you know when he got injured?
Norwood. Friday. It was Friday's training session.
So that makes more sense. Although, I mean, it should have been light training, presumably.
So the interviews with Dave Challoner, they used to be done on a Thursday, but I think recently they've changed to Friday because on this week's he mentions the Reading game from Thursday night.
Right.
So it must have, and then because he had emergency surgery Friday night, Norwood did. So we assume he's done it on Friday. But yeah, it's just very amateur. I'm still undecided whether it was actually a bad penalty or not.
I think it was a penalty that lacked some confidence.
Yeah.
I think he probably wasn't expecting it. There's a lot of psychology that goes with penalty taking. Yeah. And I mean, on a different day it goes in, it was good save. So, yeah.
But of course, it was Josh Keeley in goal.
He did the Paddy Madden stutter. Whenever Paddy did he didn't score.
Yeah, I mean, for a player who scored a lot of penalties in his career, Paddy Madden, I was never confident when he stepped up for one.
Never.
Yeah, I've never liked the stutter.
It's one of the reasons I stopped watching penalties because every time he'd do it and then that it would be like, right, okay, great. So, yeah.
Yeah, SMB has pointed out, yeah, very good point. The interviews are done on a Thursday when we're away, and it's an overnight stay. And then home games, it's done on the Friday. Yeah, so it was Josh Keeley in goal, who obviously was the hero for Orient in the playoffs. So, yeah, I'm sick of him. Can we just hurry up and sign him, just so he can do that for us instead?
Oh dear. Well, it feels like. I mean, we talked last night, didn't we, about the attitude of our substitute goalkeeper at the moment.
Yeah.
You know, I've spoken to people since, and it talks about like a kind of body language thing.
Yeah, I don't think it looks good myself. It got me at the after the Port Vale game. There was obviously quite an emotional moment with the flag and everything, with the George Thompson flag, and the players had it out on the pitch and stuff like that. And for him to be the only one not involved in that, I didn't like that at all. Regardless of whether you feel fans have got on your back or whether you feel you're unfairly dropped or whatever, at the end of the day, you're part of a team. Like, there's outfield players who can't get anywhere near, and then like Fiorini was still getting involved in all of that stuff and everything, regardless, even though he's another player who we're not seeing much of. But I don't know, just leaves a nasty taste.
Yeah, it's funny, and I don't know, like, as someone who is really quite neurodivergent, the idea for me of walking onto the pitch and, you know, claiming some of that kind of accolade feels like really, really uncomfortable to me. I'd be very much like, you know, they're the ones that have played, let them take the applause and, you know, applaud the fans. But I also take your point, which is that, you know, they're a team, a squad, and that, you know, they support each other as much as anything else. And also this kind of idea of the goalkeeper union, and you go and they're the ones that understand. And we saw Ben go over to Corey really at times last season when he was really struggling. And so
But I think more and more people are noticing it each week. So it wouldn't be a surprise if we did see him like on the pitch after the game. Like,
I mean, it's an
next time
easy thing, isn't it, to say for someone to say to him, look, this, you know, however this is intended, this is how it's being portrayed. Yeah. Don't worry about, like, you're part of the team. Everyone wants you there. People want to see you. Maybe just think about the optics of it. Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't in terms of taking chances in that game yesterday. It felt to me, if Nathan Lowe's chances, penalty aside, had fallen to Wootton, and Wotton's chances had fallen to Lowe, it's one of them. I've seen us play a lot worse than that this season and win. So
yeah, absolutely. I did, like I say, and the stats back it up. We didn't play badly. We just didn't score, and that's a common theme throughout. I don't know that there's much we can do about it because we've proved that we can score. I mean, look at the Port Vale game. But yeah, there was something yesterday. But Luton were absolutely ruthless and clinical, and a really interesting stat was that we faced the fewest shots from them in the last few games, but conceded the most amount of goals. There was weird juju yesterday in the atmosphere, like the football atmosphere. Look at the other results as well.
It was a mad day.
Top of the table. Liam rang me afterwards, and I was like, you were ringing to goad at me. And he was like, no, I was ringing to tell you how shit a game we'd had. And then I saw your result. I was like, all right, thanks. But everything went the same way.
Yeah.
Apart from Bolton.
Which is the type of thing that's got me adamant that we will win the league this season. So I'm not climbing down from that now. I've said it. I'm always right when I make my grand claim in October. So
I
I'll carry on.
mean, let's just wait and see.
Is there
And we've got
anything?
Wigan again.
Yes, well, that brings us on nicely before we wrap up. A game where you would have thought it'd be... I mean, if we'd gone and won at Salford, then we could have put the kids out on Tuesday night. But as it is, is it a win? Is it a 90 minutes win that we need, or will one on penalties? 2 points for a win on penalties, isn't it? And 3 points.
Let's just say we need to win. Honestly, I like Wigan. Wigan have dropped off. They're not anywhere near as consistent as they were last time we met them. That said, we look completely different. I think, given that we've not got another game until the 20th, put a squad out that needs to learn how to play without Ollie Norwood.
Yeah, that's exactly. I think we're going to see. We're going to see a lot of the players who. Moxon and Camps will start basically because we've not got anyone else. So wouldn't be surprised if we started seeing a back four with Ethan Pye at left back. I think that's the way we'll go there, which has worked well for us in the past. It was fine. We went on a ridiculous run with him there, so could be worse. Obviously Osborne out, so that's left back, left wing back, and central midfield cover all just gone in one fell swoop. So yeah, I think it's going to be an element of the squad sort of picking itself, but I think it'll be stronger than we'd normally go. Mind you, we were strong in the last round, and in the last game we were absolutely terrible at Salford. So I don't know, but we should be going out to win it.
I think it still had B team vibes. The last game.
Oh yeah, definitely. It definitely was. Yeah, I think it just looked strong because some of those players have played quite a lot of football for us this season, but it was very much distinctly B team still.
But with injuries this time, we're not far off that. Anyway,
it's 9 days to the next game after that, so yeah, you'd expect it'll be quite strong. But speaking of a weekend devoid of county. Next weekend, we should do something. We should go to. Everyone should go to Buxton against Southport, Hannah. This idea has just taken hold of me.
I'm not adverse to it. I was also Hyde and Warrington was also suggested to me yesterday.
Ooh, Hyde's not as picturesque as Buxton, though, is it?
It's not, but is public transport easier? Because isn't Buxton's like up in the hills, isn't it? Like on the road over to Ashbourne, isn't it up there?
Yeah, I think it's like 15 minutes on the train from Stockport, I believe.
Yeah, no, but in terms of actually then getting to the ground, I think.
Oh, the station's right near the ground at Buxton.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's very close.
Oh well, I stand corrected then.
Well, I'll be at Buxton versus Southport. I might be. I don't know.
We'll see.
I don't know. I'm going out. I'm going out Friday, so I don't know. Depends what state I'm in on Saturday. We'll see. Well, it's all very exciting, and it looks as though Peterborough is going to be the Thursday as well.
Yeah.
So I can't see it being changed now. There's one other little bit of news. You might have missed it because you were either still on holiday or travelling. This Hungarian link that we're all people are going silly about because it's from the articles so for those unaware, can't even remember which club it is, but they're quite big in Hungary. I've heard of them before, so that's a start. Simon Wilson has been spotted at games. The club is after investment. People seem to have taken this to mean that Stott is going to buy the whole club and we're going to do what Man City have done with all the different clubs, which, you can see how people have come to that, because Simon Wilson was across all of that in his role at City. He was like one of the main people behind that. It seems from the articles coming out of Hungary that he's just going to be an investor rather than the owner. He's just going to buy shares or whatever. And you'd imagine it'll possibly be tied into what's the thing he's involved with. There's a thing he's involved with at Cheadle Hulme, a football thing with the owner of Macclesfield, I think. I can't remember what it's called, but it's something football related in Cheadle Hulme. And Robbie Savage was involved at some point. So I think it'll link into that. It's coaching, like youth coaching, opportunity for talented younger players to come over here, and whether it's just training or it seems quite good.
Think if there is anything to it, then as an investor, but potentially not financial. I think he is very kind of aware of his own. He had a
Yeah.
amount of money that he was kind of willing to put in. We're not there yet. But I think he does recognise very acutely the level of investment required in the next year or so. So I think he would probably be quite financially prudent in that manner. That said, I do think that he has a lot to offer. And I know that they've done this before with personnel, shall we call them, where there's been a deal that has involved, you know, like mentorship and kind of commercial advice. And so it might be that that's where the reciprocity is, in terms of here's some shares and a stake in the club. You know, we're gonna learn from your team about how you grew Stockport County and the branding and the commercial side, and you know, all of that. That would make more sense to me. That said, I can also imagine him saying like, right, I've got my Stockport County pot over here, and I've got my Hungarian Goulash Superpot over here.
Hungarian. Great, that's a great band name. Hungarian Goulash Superpot.
I love goulash. I used to have it like skiing in Austria. I
have goulash at Halloween. Ghoul. You're welcome.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I think that would go. But I have no insight whatsoever. I just imagine that would be the case. And anyway, save his pennies for the return of Louis Barry.
Yes, yeah, and also, as Ian Dowden has kindly pointed out in the comments, it does have benefits when it comes to financial fair play and those kinds of matters, as we're finding out from Manchester City.
Yeah.
My lawyers, allegedly my lawyers have told me to say.
It's Pro Football Academy. That's funny. I didn't realise that was them. That's the black and yellow branding, isn't it?
Yeah.
Over what was the control room. I don't know if it still is.
Yes, that's right. That's the one.
I didn't know. I thought that was some like dodgy, scamming parents type.
I mean, it might well be.
You can make your kids professional rugby players, professional football players type buy-in thing.
But yeah, I'm fairly certain that's how Stott is friendly with Robbie Savage. I believe, anyway. Yeah.
Also, surely the owners consortium, like him and Darragh, they've got a WhatsApp group, haven't they? Like Darragh.
Yeah, they've got a WhatsApp group where they slag off all the podcasters. Go Hungary. I do hope the Hungary thing does happen though, because we've got I'll save it. I'll save it for when it happens, but it's going to fucking annoy you. Right. Anything else before we wrap up?
No. If anyone's going to Peterborough from London, let me know. We can do some.
There'll be loads of people.
Thing. Yeah, but it's not easy, and I just need to work out what I'm doing. So I've got to go down on Tuesday, and then I'm back there on the Friday. So just need to kind of work out my Londoning.
Work out your Londoning.
Christmas party the week after. It's all good.
Oh, bit early for a Christmas party if you ask me, but I'd just have it on the 24th for an hour and then take the tree down if it was up to me. So, bar bloody humbug.
I just don't put a tree up.
Well, no, I mean, if it was up to me, I wouldn't. It's just a faff, innit? It's just a lot of messing. Christmas should be about the cheese and the alcohol. That's Christmas. So that's my Christmas. Not even bothered about presents. I'll have them. I'll have the presents, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. Right! Thank you to everybody who's tuned in, whether that's being on YouTube or the Twitters, or the audio if you're listening to this later. Good to have you back, Hannah. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks.
And thank you for a fantastic set of special guests as well.
Oh,
Very, very good.
They weren't that good though. Like you wouldn't want to replace me with them, would you?
We will. Never. We could not replace. Whereas I could easily be replaced. I think. But I think I'm just easily replaceable in all facets of life and podcasting, apparently. Right, Hannah, say for the first time in nearly a month, say goodbye to all the nice people.
Bye. See you on Tuesday. Oh, I had a meat and potato pie on Saturday, and it wasn't that bad. So yeah, don't like. Me and my dad think they might have changed a bit, so might be worth an experiment on Tuesday night. Okay, we will report back. Maybe that can be the special pod next week. Yeah. Maybe we could do a special pod where we try all the pies. Yeah. And maybe I'll do my crisp 147 as well. Right, we will be back. We'll be back with something of some form this time next week, and then the following week we'll be back with our normal match review and whatever other shite we fancy talking about show. I'm off to work. Have fun.
And in 9 hours, I will be blasting Schools Out by Alice Cooper as I leave the place for a week and a half. That's good. No one was annoyed by that when I did it the other week. No one coming starting the shift was pissed off at me walking out with that playing. Not at all. Right, we'll be back soon. See you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.